a double header for you tonight. We are going to be speaking about two important topics. The first important topic is the health of our people, and specifically tonight, the women of the Caribbean. And then we will be speaking about climate resilience and environmental protection because no matter how much money you have, if your health is gone and the environment's gone, the money can't bring that back. So tonight we are pleased to have our guest from the island of Antigua and Barbuda, Dr. Daryen Ephraim. Good evening, Dr. Ephraim. How are you?
Hi,
Thank
good
you for joining
evening.
us.
I'm doing okay. How are you?
All right. And I will allow you to introduce yourself to the people of the region and tell us about yourself and about Ephraim Medical Services, Medical Center, sorry.
So, my name is Dr. Daryen Ephraim. I am an obstetrician gynecologist now for about 9 years. I practice at the local hospital here in Antigua, the Mount St. John Medical Center, and I own a private clinic, a private gynecology clinic, a clinic dedicated to women's health that is called the Ephraim Medical Clinic, currently located in Lower Gambles in Antigua.
Okay. And so, Doctor, can you tell us in your professional experience, what are some of the top three or four medical issues, health issues that women in the Caribbean are encountering?
Well, one of the major issues that women are encountering are what we call the NCDs. That's a big category of diseases, the non communicable diseases. And here I'm specifically referring to three major conditions: obesity, high blood pressure or hypertension, and diabetes. For whatever reason, these three conditions continue to plague women in the Caribbean, and they continue to constitute a major health burden for practically every single health ministry in the Caribbean. Millions of dollars have to be pumped into the healthcare system every single year to control these diseases. And it's simply a question of lack of prevention in the first place to prevent these diseases from happening, and secondly, an unwillingness to treat these diseases once they are established. What do I mean by that? Most Caribbean women tend to eat badly, not exercise, and carry too much weight. Okay. So here in the Caribbean, I think culturally we have a tendency to eat too much salt, too much sugar, and too much saturated fat. Okay. So recently, in the last 15, 20 years, there has been a change in perception, and you find that more Caribbean women tend to eat well, in the sense, not in terms of amounts, but in terms of the types of food that they are eating. They would tend to ingest more fiber, tend to ingest more fruits and vegetables, and to cut down on the things that I just mentioned: salt, saturated fat, and sugar. But still, in many situations, you find that there are women who tend to eat too much of these three nutrients. And as a result of that, you're going to find a very high prevalence in the Caribbean of hypertension, of diabetes, and of obesity. Now, these conditions in and of themselves create a major burden for the healthcare system. But when they have been established in the individual for quite some time, they tend to lead to major complications. So many times we say, oh, that person has high blood pressure, so what? Well, that high blood pressure can cause a stroke. That high blood pressure can cause a heart attack. That high blood pressure can cause kidney failure, and then the patient has to go on dialysis. Okay, so the patient has diabetes, so what? That diabetes can damage the nerves in the eyes and cause blindness. It can damage the nerves in the lower limbs and result in an amputation. It can damage the kidneys and result in kidney failure that, you need dialysis. Okay, so there is a major health burden when it comes to these conditions. What I find is that women in the Caribbean tend not to want to undergo the lifestyle modifications necessary to prevent these diseases from happening in the first place. So there is always some sort of pushback in terms of changing the diet, in terms of exercising more, and in terms of eliminating, certain other lifestyle conditions which may predispose to these conditions. In addition to that, the other alarming thing is that I'm not sure about in the other territories, but here in Antigua, there is a tendency, once these diseases have been established and they have been diagnosed in the patient, there's a tendency not to want to take the necessary medications to control these diseases. So you will find that even if you have an NCD, even if you have hypertension or diabetes or something like that, it can be controlled if you consistently take your medications. But what we find here is that a lot of people do not want to take the medication. So someone might have blood pressure that is sky high, but you prescribe some medications for them to take, and they probably take it maybe a week, maybe two, and then they stop. Because the thing that they say when you question them, well, why did you stop taking your medications? Oh, I don't like taking pills, or I don't like, injecting my insulin. I prefer to drink some garlic or some lime juice or something to that effect. No, nothing is wrong with garlic, nothing is wrong with lime juice, nothing is wrong with these natural remedies. But there comes a point in time where medications just have to be taken to control these conditions, right?
Mm.
So the NCDs, I would say, are one of the major health concerns in the Caribbean right now, and one of the major burdens on the healthcare system, practically in any Caribbean country.
Okay. Thank you for that summation. I think the the unfortunate part about us as in Caribbean people, as we've gotten more prosperous, I guess you would say, we now import more food, and in importing this food, we're importing stuff that's been preserved with God knows what. And I find it funny when people say, "Oh, I don't like taking a pill," but you're eating all this stuff that you have no idea what's in it, what is not any good for you. So I just want to thank you for that brief overview, and would like to invite you to be a regular contributor to the show, because we need to educate ourselves and our region about this issue, because too many of our people are, as you said, ending up in dialysis or amputation, or not just women, but having strokes, and especially black men, because I mean Caribbean men, I should say, because um, we just as you said, we think we know it all. I'll drink some bush tea, and that will make it better.
Yeah.
Another issue that is affecting us tremendously, and this is specifically for women, are the what we call the gynecological cancers, particularly cervix cancer.
Mm.
This is another, in first world countries like the US and, most of the Western European countries, cervix cancer in terms of its prevalence has now fallen. So the prevalence of cervix cancer has now fallen dramatically. That means that, when you look at the population, if before you used to have 10% of people with cervix cancer. Nowadays, it's probably like maybe 2, 3%. And the reason for that is because of proper screening. Okay. Here in the Caribbean, I think in most countries, screening for cervix cancer is available in the form of pap smears. It is available in the form of pap smears. I think in most Caribbean countries, most of the district clinics, perform pap smears. But still, we find women who, you might ask them, have you ever done a pap smear? And the answer is, what is a pap smear? So I think a lot more education and a lot more programs like these, like Territories Talk, need to be done in order to get the information out there to women. Just today in office, I saw a 32-year-old female who comes in because she has what we call postcoital bleeding or bleeding after intercourse. Now, this is an alarming sign, bleeding after intercourse. And this young lady, when I questioned her, 32 years old, when was your last pap smear? Her first and only pap smear was a month ago, and she's awaiting the result. And she's 32 years old. Now, this young lady should have been having pap smears since age 21, but somehow, she didn't. So this is alarming to me and to most healthcare workers when we look at the incidence and the prevalence of cervix cancer in our society, and this is throughout the Caribbean. It is quite alarming, right? And it is also a major health burden on all of the ministries of health, right? So this is another problem that we need to tackle in the Caribbean. We need to get more women screened. We need to educate more women about the importance of the pap smear, what it is, what it does, and what is its importance in preventing cervix cancer.
All right. Well, doctor, I want to thank you for that brief introduction, brief interview, and like I said, we would like to invite you to contribute to the Territories Talk more often.
My pleasure.
All right. Any final closing words to the people of the Caribbean, to the ladies especially?
Well, what I would say to the ladies is go see your doctor. Okay? Don't stay at home. Don't relax for 10 years. You need to see your doctor regularly. At least once a year, get a checkup. Go see your general doctor. Go see your gynecologist. That checkup could save your life. It could detect something early, and early detection is the name of the game in most diseases, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Any final comments from my co-host?
No, only to concur, like I was sharing with you guys before the show started, that I recently did a show about women's health, but we were talking
Mhm.
about the holistic nature, the importance of mind, body, and spirit. So I concur with the good doctor that we definitely need to take care of ourselves as we take care of our families, because oftentimes, we get so busy in our different roles that we tend to neglect ourselves. So definitely
That's
we
true.
need to do that. So I always get mine around my birthday so I don't forget Chris. So but
Good
that keeps
practice.
us
Good
reminded.
practice.
Yeah.
All right. Anything from you, got Eden?
Now, I very thankful for him being on the show, and I think this is we have to take advantage of the advancements being made and the ability to get these tests now. It's really been being pushed heavily in Cayman Islands in the last couple of years about pre-screening, early screening, things that can be detected through blood tests and everything like that. So I think that is something that really, that ability to diagnose is something that people really need to take advantage of, men and women. I have to keep up on my health checks as well, and I think it's important for keeping things, nipping it in the bud and not letting it become something worse. So thank you for being on the show and sharing that information with us.
Yeah, man, you're welcome.
All right. Thank you. So, doctor, we'll be talking, and we'll see you soon.
All right. All the best.
All right. Thank you.